Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to Gary's Mod. And today, the map we're going to be exploring is GM's Silent Apartments. An abandoned apartment building, which may not be explicitly a Silent Hill map, but in the name and appearance, it certainly feels like one. I'm really excited to be getting back into these atmospheric explorations because I feel like I've neglected Gary's Mod far too much recently. I feel like there's been such a backlog to get through that I've kinda ignored my main type of video. But we are here today, and I think I'm gonna have a decent amount to say about this one because I've always had a sort of interest, ever since I was a kid, in the idea of apartment buildings. I mean, you've got this sense of... You've got this sense of sort of micro-community, living so close with so many other people, and yet it can be as intertwined or as separate as you like. You can be very close with your neighbors and always doing things together, or you might not even know who lives behind the wall of your bedroom. I myself have constant problems with people behind the wall of my bedroom, but I live in a house. It's a real issue. But as I was saying, you could have that relationship where you see your neighbors every day and you're on good terms. You could be more closed off and hardly know your neighbors. Or if you don't like them, you could end up in a situation where you're antagonistic towards each other but can't leave each other alone. You're just forced to exist in that way unless one of you wants to take the leap and move. And all of you, however different you are connected by the shared experience of living in the same building. And so the issues that affect one will invariably affect the others. And of course, that means that all of you can explore the same space, but maybe we'll save that for a little later because I'm getting bad vibes from that basement. Maybe we'll want to wash up before we get going and play a little bit of stall game while we're at it. Nothing here or here. I've got to wonder, is it common for apartment buildings to have like a public restroom on the ground floor? I mean, considering anyone who's supposed to be here has a room and presumably has their own bathroom. All right, how are we going to do this? Are we going to start from the top and work our way down? Well, if the ultimate goal is the basement, then maybe we could do this the opposite way from how we usually handle things. Let's try it. Oh my, this place is very spacious and not in great shape. Although the power is on, look at that. The shadows being cast from those metal bars right in the middle of the hall. This doesn't feel like an apartment. This feels like a dream I might have about an apartment. In fact, there's no units here. It's just wide open space. Does this open? Doesn't seem to. All right, we'll come back to this a little later. We've still got another floor to climb. Oh, look at these skylights. We can see the neighboring buildings towering over us. Oh, the skylight is so pretty looking, letting natural light into what is otherwise a dark and dingy place. I wonder if people would kind of congregate in this area. I mean, it would definitely be the most welcoming place to have a conversation if you did want to talk to your neighbors. But looking up from this perspective, knowing they can look right back down, it just makes me think more about how this would be a self-contained ecosystem, and that would be an entirely different one. Like, I wonder if the internal culture would be different if a building is taller as opposed to shorter. And you could probably make that argument for a million different factors. I don't think we realize, and I certainly didn't realize until I moved, how much your environment affects the way you see things. The way you do things, so much of us is just influenced by inertia. We can check out one of the units for the first time. Those dead leaves around the corner were creeping me out like skeletal hands. Actually, it's only entering here for the first time that I really notice the ambiance, and it's kind of disturbing, like a dark drone. It's like having a dream about a place that we can't remember, but we know there's bad memories attached. Let's go sit in the light a bit. Ooh, there's a courtyard. Wait, can we actually step outside and see this? Look at that. We've got our own balcony. Clothes hanging out, swaying in the wind. Actually, kind of the most colorful thing about this place. I mean, it may not be much, but when you step out onto here and look down, you must feel like a king addressing their kingdom, right? I mean, ooh, look at this. Something's torn straight through in multiple places. These are some thick, thick walls, but something's bashing right on by. Straight into the neighboring apartments. So much damage, so much decay, and yet the lights are on. And this map is doing some really cool things with lighting. I mean, in here, we've got the lamp on, but no natural light. This window is covered, not even with curtains. That looks like sheet metal. Maybe this was somebody who liked to keep to themselves, especially considering they've barricaded the door to their balcony. No windows whatsoever in their bedroom, which means that, well, if they fell asleep with the lights off, they'd still wake in darkness. Without an alarm clock, you'd never know. I mean, look at the lighting in here by contrast. Light pouring through the windows. It's not much. It falls off towards the back, but, I mean, I can imagine sitting here on a rainy day eating breakfast while it patters on the glass. Alright. Let's keep it moving. I don't know how many units this place is going to have, but we probably don't want to get bogged down in one for too long. Wow. We may be letting some natural light into this hallway, but I still can't help but feel like something's staring me down from the end. It doesn't help that that droning in my ears constantly makes me feel like I'm waiting for something. This whole thing does feel more like a dream than like Urbex. I just saw the screen flash a bit. You made a funhouse mirror out of me. Maybe Gary's Mod was jealous of Crouch Dr. Kell in one of the more recent Voices of the Void episodes. And because it's so dark in there, it's like every time I come out here, I not only get a sense of how I've moved in relation to where I was, but it's like coming up for air, being able to step outside and feel that coolness and see that light. Speaking of light, I just remembered we've got to go back down to the basement later. That's going to be our ultimate goal. There's another staircase there. God, the fact that there's only unnatural light in this staircase makes it feel like a subway station or a bunker or something. Especially with how unsafe this place is now that it's all rusted and falling apart. A literal dumpster stacked with trash right up here in the halls. Although, I think, do a lot of apartments have garbage chutes or some kind of collection? Because that's another thing I hadn't considered is the logistics of making that work. I mean, there's so many things to consider that you probably wouldn't even think of until you're in that situation. A bunch of dirty sheets tied to frames. Okay, imagine this will be much the same as the others. A bunch of clothes out on the bed like somebody was packing to leave and never got to finish. Ooh, this one even has its own staircase down to the lower level balconies. So they're not entirely segregated. Look at this one here. I mean, wait, hang on. I can fix these reflections. One reload later, because VRMod just completely lost its mind when I tried typing Matt Specular 0. Let's have a look at this creepy little place, because not only is it dark and grimy, it's completely sealed off. There is no natural light whatsoever. The only thing that pours in when I lower my flashlight is this single light still on in an enclosed room. I get really bad vibes from this one, but do you hear that? It sounds like ticking, like there's a clock somewhere. Aside from the ambiance and my footsteps, the only thing I can hear in this entire place. And yet there's seemingly nothing to see. Maybe it's on a lower floor. I'm sorry, am I intruding? The motes of dust hanging under these lamps? God, imagine you were urbexing this place and you came upon this. Creepy enough that the lights would be on, but I mean, imagine going home tonight just knowing that while you're sleeping in your bed, over here in this otherwise darkened, empty building, these chairs are sitting under this lamp. That's something I think about all the time. Everything I discovered is still there right now. Whether it's in the dead of night or if there's pouring rain. I gotta say, this place dedicates a lot of space to not having units. But let's see if we can get in here. There we are. Something collapsed this entire floor. Yep. You know, if I wanted to say that everything is about me, I could say that this is a dig at Macy State and its paper-thin walls and ceilings. It's doing that thing where we lose our footsteps again. Well, this hallway looks at least a little bit more inviting than the one upstairs. That place was absolutely creepy. Why did I run my mouth? And when people started covering furniture with sheets to keep the dust at bay, how did they not immediately draw the connection to ghosts sitting in the dark? Nothing much here. I guess this one was under renovation when this place closed. Look at this. It's been empty so long, there's a dirt pile in the corner just up against a window. I wonder, is this whole city empty, or do those buildings just look down on the darkened building below and think about the people who used to live there? I mean, when they look down through that skylight, do they wonder if someone's staring back? Doesn't seem like there's much more we can do here, though. All right, down to the first floor. Yep. And straight out into that courtyard. I can just imagine this being the hub area, the place where kids play and draw in chalk on the pavement, where people stand outside and smoke cigarettes and everyone can hear their arguments. The fact that it's so silent, the only motion being these cables moving in the wind, and those clothes that were left behind, put out to dry and never retrieved. Makes you wonder why. And to think of all the memories that would be held here. This is where people lived. This is where people raised their kids. Now all totally still and empty. And when they were living there, they had no idea what it would eventually be. That's something I think about a lot in exploration. Looks kind of like a face, doesn't it? Maybe I've just been staring too long. Ugh. It may be an inviting amount of light, 2 open windows and a lamp, but there's just something about dirt and clutter on a carpet that makes you really understand it's over for this place. Locked. Not a single space has been closed to us so far, and to come upon one now makes it feel like maybe there is still someone here, someone crouched behind that door, immediately on the other side with their ear to it, listening for me to walk away. I just had like a really weird, like heart skipped a beat moment, because when I looked at this, I at first interpreted these pipes as legs and jeans sticking out of the dumpster. Ooh, maybe we can get in. I'm noting a definitive shift in the atmosphere. Somebody's put up their own dividers. Blocked out all light. Oh my God. There's something more going on in this apartment. God, I can feel eyes burning a hole in the back of my head right now. Let's go. Come on, come on, come on. It never fully does it justice in videos, but I'm wearing a headset. I am here right now, which means I feel the darkness. I feel the chills, and I could not get out of there fast enough. Those look kind of like bullet holes. Punching straight through, actually right where someone might have been laying. I wonder, what was in that room back there? Is that something that came after, or is that the angry lashing out of something that was here and was left behind? There's so much unintended connectivity in this place, and I am grateful for it. Are you gonna open, please? Thank you. Well, we made it from staircase to staircase. Ooh. We'll come back to that in a moment. It's like something broke through the wall and out of the closet into this unit. Maybe this place had a reputation for being haunted even before it was empty. Maybe that's part of what led to its decline. Maybe the people in those towers above us look down and think, yep, that's that haunted place. I wonder if the people in those towers look down and then immediately avert their eyes thinking, yep, that's the cursed place we don't go to anymore. Okay, we're back around to here. There is another side, though. There is. By the way, all these doors are closed because I had to reload the map after the Matt Specular incident. You hear that? Sounds like a radio. Oh my god. I didn't need that, not when I'm in search mode. I can't understand what's being said, but you know when your friend shows you a YouTube video and they're standing behind you waiting to see your reaction? That's what this feels like. I just can't approach this place the same way anymore. There's definitely something going on here. seeing the door move, like I was expecting myself, seeing the door move beneath that shattered glass, just by not being what I was expecting, it startled me a bit. But this is as far as we can go. God, these stained barriers everywhere. It makes me think that whatever's in that room is eventually going to extend to this entire place. Alright, I'm gonna have a quick look around and see if there's anything I might have missed. And then we'll start trying to head downstairs. For example, I think we've already... Oh wait, no, I don't think we ever did this area. I had a quick look. Just a whole bunch of shoes left behind. And more shoes. So desperate to put them all away, and yet the only thing left. I mean, people always talk about subtle hauntings, but what about great, loud, unmistakable ones? I mean, imagine everyone in here going about their business, and then one day a booming voice just starts yelling for everyone to get out, and it simply does not cease until it's unoccupied. Why did it have to open that loudly? Have we been here already? No. Okay, this place really is haunted. Haunted by weird mirror drawing. This one actually looks to be in pretty good shape, doesn't it? Is that in game? Did you hear those faint piano tones? They come and go such that I can't even be sure I heard them. Well, we've already found a piano. The message was clear, get out, but maybe it plays for itself when no one's present? I don't even know what to make of this now. We saw, like, none of floor 2, but... Yeah, no, we've seen, like, none of floor 2. Some of these mirrors are, like, totally blacked out. Let's see what's waiting for us downstairs. Oh my god. What is this? Some kind of stone statue. There's like markings on it. God, did the landlord bring this here from overseas? Something that brought its curse and imparted it upon the building? I legitimately didn't want to turn around just now. Alright, I think we're done here. I think we're done. So that was GM's Silent Apartments, and holy cow, was that so much creepier than I could have anticipated. I came in here treating this essentially as an urbex map, thinking that I would just kind of explore the beautiful decay, take in the eye candy, and kind of muse about the nature of enclosed communal living. I thought that, sure, maybe a place like this might have some eerie spots, all abandoned places do, but I never could have thought that it would be like this, and I really should have. Because even though the architecture is fairly normal, if a bit dilapidated, as soon as you walk in, it's in the ambiance, it's in the lighting, and it's something else I can't really qualify, where there's just a malignancy to it, a hostility. You walk in here and just everything about it just feels like there's something wrong, and that only increases as you go. That droning ambient track just kind of, it holds at a normal baseline level that keeps you just slightly on edge and lets the shadows and the blind corners do the rest of the work. And so when you find a locked door, it sets you even more so. And then that subtle, slight change in the ambiance lets you know that you are really somewhere that you are not supposed to be. This is a map that doesn't need to do very much to make you feel unsafe and unwelcome, and God, I'm only now realizing, now that I'm at the end of it, and I'm going to be out of here soon, that I have been so tense this entire time. It's like when you realize that you've been holding your breath, you know? Like, you don't even notice it at the time until you go to release. I think you get the impression that the people who lived here were sick in some way, that they were afflicted, but afflicted by what I couldn't even say. Like, this was a really dark, just not a nice place to be. And that energy is kind of held here. Well, I guess we could dissect it a little by going for a no-clip run. Yep. There's that courtyard. The layout is a little bit different from what I was expecting, but it doesn't seem like we've missed anything. Although somehow people have missed that thing just sitting in the basement. I get the impression that it's left some kind of curse on this. But otherwise, and it is always hard to see with stacked layers like this in no-clip, but I do believe that's all there is to it. I feel like I just need to close the door behind me and leave myself here. Actually... We never went down that staircase over there. I cannot help but feel eyes on me from all of these windows when I'm here. A whole mess of plants left out I hadn't even noticed. Okay, we've been in this unit before. What am I still doing here? It's one of the ones in better shape, too. All I can say at this point, because this is really freaking me out the longer I spend here, is if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this map out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.